Hello, I'm Linda Carabaras, and welcome to my kitchen. But don't get too comfortable because it is hot in here today. And I know you've heard the expression, if you can't stand the heat, get out of the kitchen. Well, we are going to leave my kitchen today, but we're going to one that's even hotter than my own. But don't worry about it, because if the flames get too high, these guys are going to be ready. I'm here at the Attleboro Fire Department headquarters on Union Street in Attleboro, where I'll be introducing you to Firehouse cook Greg Jolly. Now, Firehouse cooks have a long history of culinary talents, and a lot of these talents have been honed by the fact that they not only have to create simple but cost-effective dishes, but also they may be interrupted by a fire alarm, so they want to create dishes that will stand up to the interruption so that when they get back to the fire station, they can easily reheat them. And as you know, you've heard about some of the famous Firehouse chilies. That's probably because of the fact that chili, as it sits longer, it tastes better. And today, Greg is going to create his famous buttery shrimp scampi. Now, Greg was nice enough to come in on his day off to cook for the guys and help us out with this show. So why don't I bring you on in now, and I'll introduce you to Greg. Come on in. I'd like to introduce Greg Jolly of the Attleboro Fire Department. And Greg, how long have you been a firefighter now?
17 years, Linda. It's been a great time. Enjoy the guys. And just finished 17 and starting 18 years.
Oh, all right, terrific. Now, how long have you cooked for the guys?
I've been cooking for about 7 or 8 years. It started with the guys asking me to kind of step up and cook, and we were doing a lot of eating out. And we decided for a lot less money we could probably make a home-cooked meal, and the guys could eat healthy, and we could save a few bucks in the meantime.
And I think that's important to know, is especially the cost effectiveness of the dishes. And I think a lot of people will be surprised to learn that the city does not give you an allowance for food. Is that correct?
Right. The way it works, Linda, is that we all collect $5 a week, and that goes into a canteen or a coffee fund. With that money, we purchase coffee, condiments, supplies, and also we have some excess money that accumulates after a while, and we use that to offset the cost. But everything we prepare and eat at the fire station is done at the expense of the firefighters.
Okay, yes, and I think that's important to know, which a lot of our viewers probably didn't have any idea that that was the case before. So, today, what will you be preparing?
Today I'm going to prepare a dish that we call buttery shrimp scampi. It's a dish that we have quite often here at the firehouse. The guys like it. It's a simple dish, something that I've kind of put together from a few different shrimp scampi and a buttery shrimp dish. But it's gone over well. The guys like it, and I'm happy to share it with the viewers.
Oh, it sounds delicious too. So I'm going to turn it over to Greg now, and he'll let you know what the ingredients are in this dish. And also I want to let you know that I do have my website up, so if you want any of these recipes, please go online to www.lindas-kitchen.com and you can get this recipe. So I'm going to have Greg explain the dishes. And, if I could, what do I always emphasize with my viewers? Mise en place. And as you can see, Greg has done a beautiful job of mise en place today. So we've got all of our ingredients and they're ready to go.
Okay, Linda, I'll just go down the table here, and we'll just look at the ingredients and talk about them a little bit. We have our spaghetti, obviously, for the shrimp scampi. I use a thick spaghetti. This dish is one that can be modified, certainly, if you like linguine or a angel hair, that can be used also. But I find that the thick spaghetti works well brings the flavor of the dish out. So a butter, which we use as our base. And then as we go down the table, just some things that we're going to add. In that butter, we'll saute the onions and peppers. That'll be the first thing we do, and get those sauteed to a nice consistency. Once we're done with that, we'll add our shrimp, and also we'll add our spices. Here we have a garlic powder, some salt, some Italian seasoning or oregano, whichever you prefer. Like the Italian seasoning, it's got a little more flavor. Ground pepper, and also we'll use a third of a cup of olive oil. Also, it's pretty popular as different garlic oils or spice oils. Those can certainly be used in place of a regular olive oil. I know a lot of people have those on their shelves at home, their favorite type of oil. Certainly that can be substituted. And lastly, what we'll after we get everything sauteed together, the shrimp and the vegetables, the spices, we'll take that mixture and we're going to add it to our cooked pasta and mix that all together. We'll let that sit, and lastly we'll add our diced tomatoes, and that will finish off our dish.
Now, may I ask, are you using salted butter or unsalted?
I use a salted butter. We do a lot of cooking, maybe just for the flavor.
Yes.
Some people prefer the unsalted. Certainly they can use that.
Okay, I was just curious.
Yeah,
and it looks like a nice hearty dish. And the other thing, as I pointed out earlier, is I think that the dishes that you Firehouse cooks put together, you like to make it so it would stand up in case you were interrupted with a fire alarm. This could set up. You could leave for a while, come back. It would be nice, reheat, and maybe even taste more flavorful with the additional time, correct? Correct.
Certainly, we're going to let this dish sit to grab the flavor, but with it covered, if for any reason we had to run out on a call, it could sit for a half an hour, 45 minutes. We could come back and mix it, maybe heat it again and serve it. But it is important here at the Firehouse. We tend to run in and run out, and it does interrupt our cooking.
And I also like the combination of butter and olive oil, which I use that combination a lot. I just think it gives it different dimensions where you get your buttery flavor and the nice flavor from the olive oil. And as you pointed out earlier, I like the addition of, if you wanted to, you could use a flavored oil.
Right. People have those around their house. And if I could just mention about the shrimp, what I tend to use is a 2-pound bag of frozen shrimp. Let those thaw, take the tails off, and then make sure that they're patted dry well, that we remove most of the moisture. That will help out. But certainly, if you come across fresh shrimp, those could be used also. Frozen I use mainly because of the cost effectiveness. A lot of times we're able to get a 2-pound frozen bag at a fairly good price, and that does help out here around the Firehouse.
And it is nice that they're already cooked, so you just add them in and heat.
So. Right. And a good point is that this dish in itself is not a lot of preparation. I would say once the shrimp is all set, a half hour at most for prep time. Let it sit for 10 minutes after we get it all mixed together, and then serve to your guests in a large bowl with a loaf of bread, which we'll do today.
Okay,
or
perfect.
you could even use a side garden salad.
Excellent. Greg's going to start preparing this buttery shrimp scampi. So, Greg?
All right, thank you, Linda. As I said, the dish itself is a very simple dish, something that can be prepared at home very easily. I myself have cooked this dish here, and I've also prepared it for guests at home. So we'll just, over medium heat, add a couple of sticks of butter and let those melt.
Okay. On low.
On low, yeah. Medium to low heat. We don't want to heat the butter up too much. And at the same time, we can add our onions.
Okay.
And our green peppers.
And I love the addition of the peppers in this dish, too. It makes it a little bit different than your basic shrimp scampi.
Right,
I
right.
like the idea of
The onions
peppers.
and the peppers do well together. And then our olive oil. And once again, you can use a regular olive oil or anything that you may have around the house, a spicy garlic oil.
Okay.
It's fine. Once we get the ingredients together, we'll just want to mix them around.
Okay.
And that'll take about 5 to 7 minutes. We want to give it enough time to soften the onions and the peppers. And before we let that go, we're going to add our spices also.
All right.
Salt, our Italian seasoning, pepper, and lastly, our garlic powder.
And I like this dish also because these spices are a lot of what you'd normally have in your cabinet.
Yeah, things that we all have in our house. That's why the dish works so well here. We keep a large assortment of condiments and spices around the firehouse in our cabinet. So we don't have to spend a lot of money in buying things. The shrimp and the vegetables are easy to pick up, and then we can cook the dish. So once again, Linda, if we heat everything up, here.
Yeah.
And we'll give that about 5 to 7 minutes. Let that saute nicely, and that'll be the beginning of our base.
And what I want to just point out, you're just softening the vegetables. That's correct, not browning.
Right. We're not browning.
Okay, yep.
We want to soften them up so that they sit well within the dish itself as a final product.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, Linda, we've got our vegetables softened up. We've spent the last 5 to 7 minutes sauteing those.
Okay.
And what we'd like to do now is add the main ingredient, is the shrimp. And we're just going to add the shrimp right into the pot. And like I said when we started, I like to use the frozen shrimp. Fresh shrimp are fine. I would try to stay away from the uncooked shrimp, only because it's just adding another step to it. But frozen or fresh shrimp, and we just want to add those into the pot.
Oh, it smells
and
delicious.
Fold those into our butter, oil, onion, and pepper mixture. And we'll let the spices get around and get on top of the shrimp. And we're going to saute those for about another 3 to 5 minutes. Let the shrimp heat up, and at the same time, we're going to add our mushrooms. And we'll saute those at the same time also.
Oh, all right. And actually, when the mushrooms give up a little bit of their juices, that will flavor it even more.
Right. What will happen is we'll get a little bit of the juice of the mushroom into the sauce. And what will end up is one big delicious flavor.
And I love the addition of the mushrooms in this also. And you could probably mix up different mushrooms. You could use your creminis, portobello,
there's
a mixture of the white, and
There's many good mushrooms available at the market or wherever you may shop. And like I said, this dish is not a dish that is strong on structure. If there's something that you like, that you feel as though you'd like to add, and you can do that. And certainly this is how this dish for myself came along. Just working with a couple of different recipes and things that I liked, and that I threw at these firefighters, and they seem to like also.
Yeah, it's very versatile. Versatile dish.
That's a great thing. The guys are very easy to please for the most part. If somebody's doing the cooking for them, and it's cost effective, shall we say, they're happy to eat it. So we'll let that simmer for 5 minutes or so,
Okay.
and then we'll come back and finish that off with our pasta.
Okay, excellent.
Okay, Linda, right now we're going to add the pasta to our boiling water. What I'm going to use is 2 boxes of thick spaghetti.
Okay.
And once again, for those at home, feel free to use whatever type of pasta you want, linguine, angel hair, or a thin spaghetti.
Okay, and I notice you're breaking the spaghetti in half.
Yeah, it seems to
Be
cook better,
easier,
and always something I've done, broken it in half.
Oh, okay.
2 boxes of spaghetti, I find, with the mixture that we have, will serve about 10 people.
Okay. So this is a perfect dish for entertaining at home.
Right,
So when
right.
you're having a dinner party, and the leftovers, of course, will be fantastic.
I've been told, Linda, by those gentlemen that have stuck around for a second day, that the dish is even better on the second day. So certainly leftovers, we use them here, and I know that people use them at home.
Yeah, I love the leftovers. It just seems that the flavors just really get intensified.
Right. So we've added our spaghetti to our boiling water. We'll mix that around.
Okay.
Let that cook for 8 to 10 minutes until it softens up. And about the same time, our shrimp and butter mixture should be all set. And we'll mix those together. We're almost near the end of the finished product.
Excellent. All right, Greg, it looks like we're ready to put this dish together.
Yeah, Linda, our pasta's done. Our mixture's ready to go. So we'll drain our pasta.
Okay.
And once again, we're going to put the mixture right into the pasta, so we're not going to rinse it at all.
Which is better anyway because you want the sauce to adhere to the pasta.
Right.
Correct? Okay.
And we'll just transfer that over into our big pan.
Okay.
Mix that around. We'll come over. Now at home, you may find that you want to transfer the pasta into the pan, if the pan's larger, just to mix the dish together.
Okay.
And then you can transfer it to any type of serving platter or bowl.
Okay.
Here, what I'm going to do is just transfer and serve in the same pan. We're lucky enough at the Firehouse to have the large serving pan.
Yeah.
So that just goes on like that.
Okay.
We'll just mix that all together.
Smells delicious.
I'm glad you think so.
Yeah. Marry those flavors together.
Right.
Okay.
That's gonna, we're going to just mix that around.
Okay.
Bring that together. And then after we have that done, Linda, what we'll do is we'll add our diced tomatoes, and put those right on the top there.
And you've drained the tomatoes?
We've drained the tomatoes. I have one there, and I have the other can right here.
And that's what also gives this shrimp scampi a different twist also, I think, is the addition of the tomatoes.
Right. And these are diced tomatoes. I've also heard that some have used a fresh tomato, a fresh diced tomato. And once again, the joy of this dish is that it can be served either way. Okay, what we're going to do, Linda, is let that sit for about 10 minutes. We'll cover it with an aluminum foil, let everything kind of come together.
Okay.
And then we'll serve it to a bunch of hungry firefighters.
Excellent. Great.
Running out.
Is it safe to come in? I'm going to almost blow it without coffee.
Bush is right over there.
We have like this that keep us in boyish
Okay. Oh, it looks like your dish is a success, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody's smart to me. You think?
Thank you, Greg, for sharing your Firehouse recipe with us today.
Linda, it's my pleasure. I'm glad that you came to our firehouse, saw how we cook and what we do, and how much the guys enjoy the food.
Okay, thank you very much. And again, if you want this recipe, please go on my website, www.lindas-kitchen.com. Thank you very much.
Great. Back to the other one.